Hello, AISB. How do musicians stay together when they're playing? Well, they count. They don't count out loud, but they're always counting in their heads. I had an old band director that used to like to say, if you're not counting, you're guessing. And if you're guessing, you're wrong. And many of you may already know the counting method that uses ta, ti, ti, tika, tika, shh. But that's the little kid method. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the big kid method. When we look at music, we see that it's divided up into these little boxes. We have a box here, a box here, a box here. We're going to call these boxes measures. And each measure is going to get its own number. So we have measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5, so on and so forth. We have these lines that divide up the measures, and we're going to call these bar lines. We have a bar line that splits measures in the middle, and we have bar lines at the end of the line. If we jump to the beginning of our music sheet, we see here that we have this fraction looking number, and we're going to read that top number and then bottom number. So it's 4, 4, 4, 4 time. The top number is the important number here because this top number is telling us how many beats we can fit into each box or into each measure. Many of you will already know that this is a quarter note, and we know that a quarter note gets 1 beat. Well, our time signature says that we can fit 4 beats into a measure, which means that we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes per measure. I can't put in a fifth because there's no more space. So we have our 4 quarter notes here. What we're going to be doing next is writing in the counting. So if I'm going to be putting in first the number of beats, we're going to start with beat 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the new part. We're not just going to be saying the number of the beats. Instead, we're going to be taking each quarter note and we're going to break it into 4 smaller divisions, which we call subdivisions. So 1 is not just 1 anymore. It's going to be 1, E, and we use the plus symbol to say and. Then we have 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and What you're going to be doing with your voice is just reading through these subdivisions. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and But with your hands, you're going to be clapping the rhythm that we write down. For this rhythm, for these 4 quarter notes, we're going to clap on each beat. And it'll sound like this. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and So if you notice, my voice is only ever doing the subdivision. My hands are always clapping the actual rhythm. Let's take a look at what this might sound like and look like when we're counting eighth notes. So let's put in a measure of eighth notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to adjust these beams across the top so that you only get 1 beam per beat. Here's a tip. When you see this beam beaming 2 rhythms together, 95% of the time, that beam is going to take up 1 beat. Hopefully that makes your reading a little bit easier. Now we remember that our counting is 1E and 2E and And how is that going to change when we have these eighth notes? Well, it's not going to change at all. The only thing that's going to change is how we clap it. Let me explain. So we put in our counting here. And when we combine this with our clapping, we're going to get this. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and You can hear that the attack points are on 1 and 2 and. When I say attack points, that means that when I actually clap the rhythm, when I clap the note, what I'm clapping on. So I'm not clapping on E or I'm clapping on 1, E, and It's the same sort of thing with 16th notes, but easier. 16th notes is actually probably the easiest way to count this. So let's change all of our 8th notes into 16th notes. And let's get rid of this counting. And we're going to add in now. We're going to put in our counting 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and And now when we clap and we say this measure, full of 16th notes, every syllable, every subdivision that we say will get its own clap. And it'll sound like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and You want to make sure that when you are practicing and counting these, that you are trying to keep your subdivisions as even as possible. So you wouldn't count this like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, because it's not even. And our beat has to stay the same. It has to not get faster or slower. So you're always counting very steadily. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and you get the idea. Now where this starts to get interesting is when we start to mix and match different rhythms. So let's get rid of this. And let's put in, we'll start with the quarter note, which we know gets 1 beat. We'll put in 2 8th notes, and that'll take up 1 more beat. Let's put in 4 16th notes, which will equal 1 more beat. And we'll put in, lastly, 1 more quarter note to finish off our measure. Let's zoom in a little bit. And let's add in our counting. So we have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Now let's see what this sounds like when we count and clap at the same time this rhythm. It'll sound like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So that's how we count rhythms. Good luck with your CSI activity assignment this week, and make sure you're really taking your time with it. And if you have any questions, please reach out to either me or Mr. Peter. We'll be happy to help you. Good luck, and we'll see you in our class Zooms. Bye for now.